We have never recognized the international. We don't. We ourselves don't participate in the International Criminal Court, and took great umbrage when the court indicated that U.S. would also be indicted for crimes committed in Afghanistan.
Right.
And the response of the Trump administration, with Congress supporting, was to sanction the people in the ICC, to punish them. We combined our anger at them for citing us and our anger at them for citing Israel.
Right.
In the sanctions that we declared. Look, the problem here is the Palestinians are a signatory. The Israelis are not. That's true.
Yeah.
But a member state and the Palestinians qualify, and that has been determined by the court, qualify to bring a complaint. It's interesting that Israel recognizes the Palestinians as an autonomous entity when it comes to vaccines, right? We're not responsible, they're responsible. But in almost every other area, the Palestinians are not considered a responsible party, which is at best hypocritical, at worst something else. Here's the problem. It wasn't just the administration, the Biden administration position on the ICC. It also is the Biden administration position on the boycott, divestment, sanctions movement.
Right.
It also their position on accepting the definition of anti-Semitism that includes criticism of Israel. It is also the fact that they continue to mouth the same terms about, well, we want a two-state solution, when Israel is doing everything they possibly can and has done everything they possibly could to make that impossible, announcing, even in just the last few weeks, more annexation of territories through settlement construction, more house demolitions. There were more house demolitions in the last year than in any preceding year, and more restrictions on Palestinian movement. The point is, and it's been asked by several, I tweeted about it, but then other articles have appeared as well, saying if they can't boycott, they can't go to court, they can't bring their case to the Human Rights Council, then exactly what's left for them to do? I mean, how do they protest? And obviously, the U.S. would not want them to engage in violent protest, but we've taken the diplomatic and we've taken the political away from them. And so we've leaved them no recourse. So basically what they're being asked to do is accept the brutality of the occupation and smile and kind of say, yes, massa, and just be good about it. They're not willing to do that, and neither is much of the rest of the world community. So it's not something that the Biden administration invented.
Right.
This has been a practice that goes back. The Obama administration was no better on this. The Trump administration certainly was no better. But it's really disappointing because there was a hope that the situation might change. It's clearly not going to change. And so the struggle for Palestinian justice continues.
So, you also sit, you're a fellow, I should say, at the Sanders Institute. And I can't help but think, Dr. Zogby, how different this might perhaps be playing out if Bernie Sanders was president.
I think, yes. Clearly, Bernie had a position on accountability. And that's what this all comes down to. It's the fight we had in the platform this year about, the Biden administration wanted in the platform, the Biden campaign wanted in the platform, language that said that they oppose settlements. That was new.
Right.
No Democratic platform had included that. We tried to get that in 2016 and lost. They were opposed to annexation. That's good. But then they said, but they're not going to touch U.S. aid to Israel, and they don't support the boycott, divestment, sanctions effort, which means it's sort of like the parent who has a really bad child and keeps saying, I don't want you to do that, and the kid does it. I don't want you to do it, and the kid does it. I don't want you to do it, and the kid gets the message after a while that you really don't give a shit what they do. You just say don't do it, but then they do it anyway, and there's no punishment. It's the spoiled child syndrome, and that's where we are right now, is that Israel knows that they can act with impunity, and so they act with impunity and continue to carry out the same bad actions,
Right.
knowing that the U.S. is not only their cheerleader and will be holding their coat, but will actually be participating in all of their criminal and illegal activities. I mean, if we continue to provide aid, if we continue to provide diplomatic support, and if we continue to say don't do it and they keep doing it, and what they're doing are grievous crimes against international law, then we become complicit in those crimes. And that's the situation. Remember, the court in Hague ruled that Israel's wall that they were building back over a decade ago was illegal and should stop. Many other nations agreed and supported that. The U.S. also initially said, don't build a wall. And what happened? Nothing.
Nothing.
So the wall is now many times longer and larger than the Berlin Wall. And it's not, when Israel made the point that they were doing it to protect themselves, that was absolute nonsense. And it was a lie, because most of the wall is built within the Palestinian territories and cuts Palestinians off from their land. In some cases, cuts villages in half, cuts a convent away from the school where the nuns teach, cuts a monastery away from the vineyards that they used to grow grapes and produce altar wine that was used throughout the Catholic Church because it came from the Holy Land. I mean, these are criminal acts of theft, of land theft, of violations of international law, and yet the U.S. can't do anything more than say, we really don't think you should be doing it. It's not helpful to the peace process. Meanwhile, the facts are on the ground, being built every day, and the Palestinians are told, don't complain about it, don't go to court, don't go to the Human Rights Council, don't boycott or ask people to sanction Israel, because if you do, you're the guilty party.